So within the intellectual property realm and all the different types of IP, there are concerns that we have about expiration. And so it's important to know whether the type of intellectual property you have expires or needs to be renewed, and when those renewals or expirations happen. With respect to patents, I like to think of patents as a quid pro quo with the government or with the public. In exchange for your disclosing your invention to the public, to the government, you get in exchange that monopoly that is your patent. And that patent is good for 20 years from the filing date. And so because it's tied to the filing date, we definitely try to get your application through the patent office process as quickly as we can so that you can take advantage of as much time of that patent being issued as possible within that 20 years. There are some renewal points as well with respect to patents, and so we're always mindful of making sure that we renew your patents at the correct time. That's something that you ought to be thinking about as well so that you don't lose your patent rights prematurely. With respect to trademarks, it's not so much about expiration or renewals. Trademark rights are really tied to your use of the trademark. And so as long as you are continuing to use the trademark in connection with the goods or services that we identify in the application that we file for you, your trademark rights can go on and on indefinitely. Now, if we do file a trademark application for you and it gets registered, then there are some renewal deadlines that we have along the way. And those renewal deadlines are really just tied to us and you certifying to the trademark office that you are continuing to use that trademark in connection with the goods or services that we've identified. And as long as we do that, as long as we follow that renewal schedule, and as long as we confirm that you continue to use that trademark in connection with those goods and services, your trademark rights can continue indefinitely. Finally, with respect to copyrights, there is an expiration with respect to copyrights as well. It's a long period of time. So with respect to companies owning copyrights, it's a set period of time. And with respect to individuals owning copyrights, it's tied to the life of the individual. And so it's one of those things where it's like, we know what the time period is, but we seldom have to worry about it because it's such a long period of time that for the most part, copyrights last for a long period of time. There is just an interesting side note here with respect to copyrights is every year we call it kind of the public day where all of the copyrights that are expiring at that time are kind of published so that we all know about them. And so you'll see things in there like some of the Disney characters or things like that. Winnie the Pooh, I think, was a few years ago, where you'll see that those things all of a sudden become public domain because of the number of years that they've had the copyright. But for the most part, we don't worry too much about the copyright rights expiring because by the time they do, most of us won't be around.